Guys, we did it. 2,000 subs. 828. On this, the 27th day of January 2025, 45 degrees and partially sunny here at Site B. Woke up this morning to the exciting news that we hit 2,000 subs, and Shadowdark Vigilantes, the spiritual successor to Wretched Vigilantes, is up and available. PDF on Postmortem and Drive-Thru and other sites. $21. I would love to get $21 for it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's up. 3 years of work, really, since I started the Wretched Vigilantes project for Red Room in 2002, 2003, up till, of course, parting ways for various reasons with Red Room, and then, of course, being faced with the daunting task of going through everything I'd written for the Wretched Vigilantes universe and taking it apart, scrubbing every possible connection to Wretched away and recreating it for Shadowdark, which took, since I started the project, 4 months of just cutting and pasting and checking and double checking and then sending to the editor and then just fixing and then finding new art, rewriting everything. So it's up, it's available. Please, this is the biggie, so please support it. I know $21 seems like a lot, but it is over 200 pages packed with art and world building and superhero rules for Shadowdark, right? So that's the big news. The other big news is apparently I have been put in my place. I found out over the weekend that I have been put in my place. I don't know what that means. I didn't know I was out of my place. I don't know what being put in my place means. I don't feel any different. Everything's still the same where I live. Roof over my head. Cat sleeping next to me. Food in the refrigerator. Bills I have to pay. Sun shining through the... I don't know what that means, but apparently I've been put on my place and I've been served notice. So I don't know. Again, what does that mean? I've also been told the door has been closed. Again, what door? But, all right, well, from my place that I've been put into, it's time to take a look at the other tabletop role-playing game news. Now, you guys have to remember that when we started the 2,000 sub challenge decades ago, I promised that if I hit 2,000 subs by a certain date, I would take a month off from talking about a certain game company. That said, it's the 27th day of January. So if I took a month off, it would only be 1, 2, 3, 4 days before the month's over. So that doesn't seem right. And I could do the 27th to the 27th, but let's face it, my dyslexic brain would forget that. And I'd be talking about a specific game company without meaning it, because as you know, I dedicate every Wednesday to talking about game company whose name I can't mention because I promised I wouldn't. So I could start today with the not talking about that place for an entire month and end it on February 27th, or we could just wait to the 1st of February and take the entire month of February off, not talking about game company in question. Which would sort of ruin one of the projects I had planned for February, but we can still do it. But whatever. So we did it. I am so excited. It took way longer than I thought it would. I understand, why it took me so long. I'm not happy about it. Obviously, I'm very envious of people who have started out after me and have done more and gotten subs more. But I always knew that there would be things working against me to do this. One is I'm not a girl. Let's face it, guys want to watch girls. They don't want to listen to me talk. Second, I don't show my face, and I haven't shown my face for a long time, and I understand not showing my face is to my detriment. But there are reasons why I don't show my face, legal reasons why I don't show my face, and just other reasons to deal with things like my neurodivergence. Of course, number one reason is I don't want to dox myself. I don't want anybody to know what I look like. I don't want anybody to know where I live, which is weird because I tell you where I live and I do walks around my neighborhood. but still, for many multiple legal reasons, and because, you know, of a legal situation, I don't show my face. And that also goes to like NDAs and protecting the kids that I used to work with at the schools I used to work with and still work with. There's a lot of reasons. The second is because, you know, it helps with my anxiety to not show my face, and I fidget a lot. And I don't think anybody wants to watch me fidgeting while I'm talking. My hands go all over the place. I play with my face if I'm nervous and not realize it. Like rubbing my nose. I close my eyes sometimes when I'm talking and not realize it. So yeah, nobody needs to do that. So not showing my face. My stuff is not edited as well as it could. I always meant to invest more money than into this, but there's always something that's come up that's made that impossible for me. And you know, I'm not a conservative, and I understand 90% of the tabletop role-playing game community is conservative, it seems. So I don't get invited to a lot of streams. I don't do streams. I don't normally go on streams unless I'm asked to. I've tried a couple times, but I always feel very anxious, you know, and I have like the imposter syndrome where nobody wants to talk to me, you know. So I know there's a lot of reasons that it worked against me. And I made some toxic content for a while, which wasn't interesting. And, you know, sometimes I just don't have anything interesting to say. So it took me a lot longer than I would have liked to hit 2,000 subs. But we did it, 2,000 subs. So thank you very much to all of you, including all the bots that are subscribed. Please don't leave me. I love you as much as I love my real live followers. Thank you to Robert McAllister, my very, very, very first subscriber, and to my most recent subscriber, whoever you are. You're probably a bot, but whatever. 2,000 subs and putting my place. So as of the 1st of February, we will not be talking about the company in question. So to practice now, I'm not going to say their name. Even on Wednesday, I'm going to somehow talk about them without talking about them. Thankfully, they haven't really done anything this week worth talking about. Of course, every time I say that, I jinx it, and then they do something. So, oh yeah, and apparently 4th edition is a thing again. I don't know why. All right, so there was some news, as you guys know, over the week regarding not company whose names I can't mention, but another company. That's this thing between Ian World and Morris of Ian World and Evil Genius Games and Dave Scott of Evil Genius Games. If you're aware, I had Dave Scott on the channel on Friday to give his side of the story, or as much as his side as he was willing to give. As you know, with any type of situation, especially a situation like this, there's Ian World's side of the story. There's David Scott's and Evil Genius Games side of the story. And then there's the truth. So hopefully I was able to give David a platform and he was able to say what he needed to say. I take no sides in this. I am not legally bound by either side. I respect both sides. They've both been very cool to me in the past. So yeah, and of course, if Ian World wants to come on and offer a counterpoint, the door is open. Oh wait, no, my door's closed. I forgot the door was closed. I don't know what that means, but okay. Anyways, yeah, so that's news. I don't want to get into it because we already got into it on Friday. I'll put a link down below if you want to watch the video. But yeah, I don't know if this will spiral into anything else. One of the things that was mentioned was the rumor that Evil Genius Games was going into NFTs, and people got upset about that, and they were going to start using AI art, and people got upset about that. And I remember doing a video about it when that first dropped, and I think people were upset because they made the "we're not going to use it" promise, and then turned out they were using it. The same promise that Wizards and every other company has made about AI art and NFTs, and then it turns out, well, a few months later, we're using it. We broke our promise because we have to. And at this point in time, I would say in regards to AI art and in regards to if you're using blockchain or NFTs or making crypto coins out of your product to help subside your company, and at this point, if you're not doing that, I think it's more detrimental than doing it. I mean, it's hard enough, guys, to do the tabletop role-playing game thing. So if you can make a little extra Seth bucks by making a crypto coin or an NFT or blockchain, and as long as you're following all the rules and regulations, go for it. And in regards to AI art, it's here. It's not going away, unfortunately. So yeah, as somebody who uses AI art, I would love to be able to draw. I can't. I would love to be able to have access to an artist that I can just go day or night, anytime. This is what I want. Can you do it? But I don't have the wherewithal to afford an artist. Maybe if I kickstart something someday, I will. But so, yeah, AI art is a thing. And so, yeah, people are going to use it as long as they don't lie about it. You know, I think the big thing was Wizards made all these promises and they kept getting caught with their hand in the cookie jar. And so now we're very suspicious of any other company that claims they're not going to use the digital. And then we find out, oh, yeah, you did. But according to David Scott, he said that they never made that statement and he doesn't know where that statement came from. Don't know. Don't care. Don't want to become legally involved. I gave David Scott a chance to say it. I was very clear and transparent that I had informed Ian World ahead of time about the interview and that a copy of the interview was sent to Ian World. And if Ian World wants to come and talk about it, I'm more than happy to host them too, because, you know, I need help with the subs. Now the goal is 3,000, I guess. 10,000? No. Silver play thing? Yeah, that's not gonna ever happen, guys. That's not gonna ever happen. It's a dream. I just wanted to be, you know, get free stuff. You know, send me some free candy to review. That was always the thing. Okay, the other thing is the Great White Whale of tabletop role-playing game now. I guess this is going to be the urban myth of the tabletop role-playing game community now. Will Mr. Musk buy company whose name I can't say, or Hasbro? I can say Hasbro, I just can't say the other thing, and I can't talk about them, but I can say Hasbro. So will Elon Musk buy Hasbro? And is it as easy as just showing up at the front door and going, here's a couple million, give me your company? No, there's a lot of things involved. You can't just buy Hasbro. That said, we do know that a while back, with just 4 words, Elon Musk began the very arduous process of buying Twitter. He wanted to know how much it would cost him, and then he did it. Or that's how it appears. But really, there's a lot of things that you have to go through. And here's just a list of some of the things you would have to go through. First, the initial offer expression of interest. Hey, Hasbro board of directors, I want to buy Hasbro. And then there would be a meeting of minds, a give and take, a what do you buy, what it did, blah, 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 my, da, da. Then there would be the dual diligence. You have to go through a thorough investigation of the financial records, legal standing, business operation, and potential liabilities. Teams of lawyers, accountants, and industry experts would have to spend a very long time going through every single thing that is connected to that company. And in return, Hasbro's team of lawyers would have to go through everything that's connected to Elon Musk or Tesla. I guess would he be buying it through Tesla? I don't know. Is there a parent company to Tesla, like Musk Industries? Does Tesla own Twitter or does Elon Musk own Twitter? Anyways. And that could take years, especially going through Hasbro that has just such a wide range of things. Again, so you can't just walk up to the front door and go, here's a couple million, just give me the keys. No. So we got due diligence, which could take years. Then we've got the negotiation and definitive agreement. So we got to go through the various shareholders. We got to go through finalizing the terms. We got to come up with a legally binding document. We've got to, there's 8 billion worth of shares out there. The person would have to buy at least 50% of the shares. You would need about 4 billion, and which every time you buy the shares would rise up the price. So the cost of acquiring the controlling stake would therefore be significantly higher than the simple calculated base to buy the share. So every time it was like, oh, Elon Musk bought another 100 million shares of Hasbro, the shares would go up, and then he would eventually own 51%, which would give him a controlling interest. Then there would be the regulatory approvals, which, you know, because he's in the government now, wouldn't be a problem, but, you know, you still have to go through the Federal Trade Commission and the Securities Exchange Commission to something and nothing. And then those guys could go, oh, no, it's not in the best interest of the company, start all over. So that could take another huge chunk of years. And then, of course, you have to get the approval of the shareholders, which is about 6 million shares currently available. And then you'd have to go through each and every thing. And plus, Hasbro is not just one company, it's multiple companies. I mean, you got Magic the Gathering, you got that company whose name I can't mention, then you got all the other companies it owns, and there's the different shareholders. So it could take a lot of money and a lot of time, which I don't know if Mr. Musk has or is even interested in. I don't think it's come up yet again. So it would still, you know, it would take a lot amount of time. It would take a lot of money. It would take a lot of negative press that he'd have to deal with. So it was more than just him joking about D&D. He'd really have to have Musk Incorporated dial down and do this, which he also has to diverse his time and energy between that potentially pointless pursuit. Ooh, 3 P's in a row. OGGM, look at you using the big words. And dealing with all the Tesla shit and Tesla lawsuits, dealing with SpaceX, dealing with whatever his government job is, and all that stuff. So he's got a lot of stuff on his plate. So even if he was serious about buying Hasbro, which I don't think he was, he wouldn't do it himself. He'd have his army of underlings do it, and then they would be involved in that multi-year, multi-billion-dollar thing. So it's probably not going to happen, but I think people are going to keep talking about it. You know, the right seems to think that if Elon Musk comes in and buys Hasbro, everything that's wrong with Hasbro will just magically be fixed. Just like, oh, well, Trump's president now. Everything that's wrong with Hasbro will be magically fixed. Trump, no. It's just going to change. Everything that's wrong with Hasbro won't go away because you change ownership. It would take years and years and years and years and years and years. And then you're just replacing one batch of issues with a brand new batch of issues. So this dream of the way Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons should be, that will probably never happen. Just accept it is what it is and move on. Now, there really is nothing else going on in the tabletop role-playing game community other than it is my 2,000 sub special. I'm not sure how we're going to celebrate 2,000 subs, what new projects we're going to start, but as promised, starting the 1st of February, I will take an entire month off from talking about Wizards. I might talk indirectly about Dungeons and Dragons, but I will not talk about Wizards of the Coast. Anything Wizards of the Coast does during February will not be mentioned by me. It will be mentioned by others. That was the promise when we began this 2,000 subs. I forget what the promise was when we hit 1,000 subs. Wasn't it eat weird food? Was that the MRI? Like, yeah, I ate an MRE. I mean, I remember there's some weird food involved, and I think we did something else. Oh, we did the tour live recording of a game at Seth's Games and Anime. I think that was part of the 1,000 subs, and the tour of Seth's Games and Anime when we hit 1,000 subs. And of course, there is, I think, me eating weird food. But I don't have any weird food to eat for this one, other than, you know, who wants to watch me eat super spicy ramen for the 3rd time? So all we can do is, as promised, 2,000 subs starting February 1st. No Wizards of the Coast. Probably do something else to celebrate, assuming I can maintain 2,000 subs. Or if there's a mass departure of bots and I turn on and now I've only got like 1,100 subs or 90 subs. Oh, turns out 199 of those subs were bots, OGGM, and they all left. I miss you, bots. Anyways, congratulations to me, and thank you to each and every one of you going all the way back to the very first sub, Robert McAllister, and of course the individual who said I should do this, Matthew Bromond, and all the people that inspired me to do this and still inspire me to do this to this day, from I Hit It With My Axe, say what you will about Zach Zeth, I loved watching I Hit It With My Axe, to Mercer, love him or hate him, to Adam the Woo and Justin Scard, two of my inspirations, to, of course, Hank over at Runehammer, another one of my inspirations. Of course, my big inspiration now, Iron Mouse. Thank you to each and every one of you for inspiring me to keep doing this and making this better and better and better. Again, thank you to my number one employee, Jeff's Game Box, for constantly being a voice of just amazing that this guy chose to be my friend this year. I don't know why, but I'm just humbled. So yeah, there we go. 2,000 subs. I should probably be more excited, but it just hasn't hit yet, you know. And I had a rough weekend and I'm still recovering from being sort of sick, but I'll do something live, I'm sure, today or tomorrow, start a new project. Maybe I'll do a solo game thing for February. I don't know. Tell me what you want me to do for February. Till next time, I'm the OGGM. That's the lack of news for today. Stay safe out there. We're still got winds and rains and fires and floods and locusts and all the other things. So we're not out of the woods yet. And it's only January.
Roll the dice and ride the wave. Quest and dragons, the news we crave. Under neon lights we take a stand. Knights and wizards across the land.